Hi there, I'm John Michael Garapi, and I'm here with Stephen Albair, and we're talking about his new book, Miss Nude World, which I edited. What inspired you to document this event?
Well, it was documented in 1973, and I was teaching at a Midwestern university at the time, and I'm not really quite sure exactly because it goes back to 73.
Right.
And but a postcard arrived, or I read an article in my local college newspaper about looking for contestants for Miss Nude World. And it kind of piqued my interest. I was a young guy. And I just decided that maybe this might be a great opportunity to do a photo documentation. And I had at the time been working with female nude models in my studio and thought this might be an extension of it. Plus there was the other factor that this could be fun. I mean, a nude event, you
Right.
know? I wasn't particularly into nudity, but I thought this could be something interesting.
Yeah. Nudism was coming into its own right about the same time period in the 1970s as like a lifestyle choice. Well, did you come across any streakers in the college you were working at?
It wasn't happening in my college, but it certainly was happening around. The 70s really were a very permissive time, a time of exploration in terms of what was happening socially between people. The pornographic industry, it wasn't born then. It's been going on for thousands of years, but it had this incredible revival at that time with magazines and everything. And the two things just kind of collided all at the same time.
Yeah, I think in your book you actually were talking about like the voyeurism aspect of this also, and how people were picking up magazines just for their own, because they were interested. They wanted to know what was going on.
Yes, and a lot of those magazines were nudist magazines.
Yeah.
You know, because we weren't really in the 70s, we weren't used to seeing a lot of nudity. You know, we see far more nudity on the streets of New York, where I just came from, than we have ever seen before. But at that time, it just didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, we were coming out of that, that morality kind of thing, and it was just an open, an opening up of our mores and exploration of things.
Miss Nude World took place at Naked City in Oak Lawn, Indiana, and Dick Drost was in charge of the nudist camp that hosted this event. Who was Dick Drost?
You know, I didn't really know who he was at the time, but as I began to research for the book, I realized there was a missing piece of the puzzle there. He was a very charismatic person that was also a criminal, so to speak. He was one of the first people to jump in there and make money from nudity. Yet he was in charge of a nudist colony or a nudist camp at that time. You know, he eventually would be arrested and charged, but never really completely charged. He paid a fine of $23,000. But he himself, it was hard to completely understand the situation because he himself was a quadriplegic.
Yeah.
And outside of a power wheelchair, he had to be carried everywhere.
Yeah.
Yet he had this ability to attract women. There were always women around him that nude women that would cater to his every need. And he was never nude himself. He or his parents, who had previously owned Naked City.
Yeah.
It was Dick Drost who named it Naked City and basically turned it into what it was at that time.
Yeah. Why are we working on this book now? I know we had a number of people who actually, friends and family, who take a look at this work and go like, I don't know, Stephen, this is a really rough issue to pull up. Like all of this photography that you're actually showing, it doesn't appeal to everyone, you know. But what makes it important that we talk about Drost and Naked City? What makes the story relevant today?
Yeah, it's relevant today because it's very much a part of our history, and it's also very much a part of what we begin to see happening today. And we have never seen so much nudity on the streets today. I mean, I teach college, and I'll tell you, compared to say 10 years ago to today, there's this desire, it seems like this desire to show more body. And I think that we can't bury this history. We have to deal with it. And it comes from the 1970s. It's a photo documentation. It's only photographs of this particular event. And it's a narrative. It's a first-person narrative. And I talk about what it was like in 1970s to go to Naked City and to participate in this event. Some of the people, it seemed like everybody that was there was participating because they wanted to be there. And just the fact that it was advertised, and I have 3 ads from newspapers in college newspapers, is just pretty astounding when you really think about it. So I think it is what it is, and we have to put it in context of when it happens and how it happens and what's going on today. There have been 2 events of Miss Nude World in the last 2 years. One of them was in Florida, in Miami, Florida, and these events often take place in Europe, but not on the scale that it happened in Naked City. During its time, in 1973, Naked City was the largest, nudist colony in the world, according to the Guinness World of Records. It was huge. There was another one directly across the street. So those days are gone, and what we have is kind of replacing it with what's happening now. And it's just interesting to take a look back as a way of taking a look forward.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a copy of this book in my hands. You're still working on. We're still working on it.
Yeah.
It's like much of the way through. You want to, when you're making a book like this, you can be 80% of the way through, but it still feels like you're at the beginning. Good. I mean, it takes a long time. How can people follow you and follow your progress on this book? Where can they go to find more about it?
Yeah. Well, it will definitely be with my website, stephenalbair.com, but also Instagram. And because I'm starting to get a little bit more active with Instagram. I'm hoping that this one also will probably be on Amazon. I'm not really sure. I probably shouldn't say that at this time, but we're hoping that things will happen with this one.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking about the book, Stephen.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Take care, everybody.